warm and humid night in Boston. The Tigers look to right the ship. And it's game 3 in this series between the Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. He's going up against Pedro in a very good offense. He has to bring his A game because we know the other guy on the other side always brings his A game. He went up against the Tigers already once this year. He is 5-0 in his career against Detroit. Pinpoint control with 3+ pitches. It should be an awfully fun night if both of these pitchers are on top of their game.
Well, they have been certainly on top of their game. Jeremy Bonderman in his last start, 14 strikeouts against the White Sox. Pedro Martinez in his last start against the Tigers, he fanned a total of 11. He has not lost to the Tigers in his career. Another a gorgeous night for baseball here in Boston at Fenway Park. We get you ready for the Tigers and the Red Sox. It is a little bit warm and a little bit humid, but still a fun atmosphere here at the ballpark. And Jeremy Bonderman is cruising in now, getting set to make a start against these Red Sox on their home turf. Red Sox have taken the field, and we'll check out the Tigers starting lineup tonight. It is brought to you by Gardner White Furniture, and Craig Monroe is back in there for the Tigers tonight. He has been hot of late. Monroe really has turned it up a notch offensively in August at .339. Omar Infante leads it off. He'll play second base. Bobby Higginson is in right. Carlos Pena down at first with Dimitri Young the DH. Monroe in center. Munson at third. And a bottom three of Marcus Thames in left. Brandon Inge the catcher. And Jason Smith is the shortstop. Here's our Pepsi pitching report tonight on Pedro Martinez.
Well, what's not to like about Pedro Martinez? He has 3 above-average pitches, the fastball, the slider, and the changeup, and he has pinpoint control with all 3 of those pitches. Double trouble. He has 10 strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 outings. And how about a truce? The Tigers have never beaten Pedro. He is 5-0 with an earned run average of .252 against Detroit.
The breakdown on the numbers this year for Pedro Martinez.
He's awfully good. Comes in 13-5. Earned run average is under 4. Just 44 walks for Pedro in 173 2/3 innings. So if you're the Tigers, guess what? He's going to be around the plate. But the one thing about Pedro, I said he had good control when I was giving the pitching report. Pedro has great command. There's the difference. Some guys can control it. He can command everything.
And Pedro, of course, a free agent at the end of the season. I know Red Sox fans would love to see him stay, and the Red Sox have a decision to make at the end of the year. But the way he is playing and pitching this year, he may be in a Red Sox uniform for years to come. These are some numbers that we would like to change beginning tonight. 5-0 lifetime against the Tigers and a 2.72 earned run average. Ready for baseball tonight, Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox taking on the Tigers. On a warm and muggy night here in Boston. Again, a jam-packed Fenway Park. Another sellout here. Infante, 5 for his last 30, has been struggling a bit with the bat, and here we go. Swinging on the first pitch, lines it to left center field, a base hit, maybe more. Cutting it off is Damon. On his way to second is Infante. The throw is in time, and Omar is cut down. And a fast start to this one tonight.
Well, this is a good play by Omar. Anytime you got the center fielder going away from the throw, you want to challenge him, but Damon comes up and fires a strike to Bellhorn. Damon does not have a strong throwing arm, but he threw a pretty nice one there.
Well, he was going to challenge, and he was gunned down at home plate. So Infante feeling a little bit aggressive early on, but Damon was equal to the task.
Hey, not a bad play by Omar, especially against Pedro. You have to be aggressive against him. Anytime you see the center fielder running away from the throw, why not challenge him?
Bobby Higginson batting with 1 out. And Pedro quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Pedro works awfully quick. He fires the ball toward home plate, gets right back on top of the rubber, gets the sign, and then comes at you again.
Higginson 1 for 7 in the series. Has cooled a little bit since being the American League Player of the Week last week. Martinez, 32 years of age, 3 Cy Youngs under his belt.
You mentioned the fact that he has already won 3 Cy Youngs, but in 6 of the last 7 years, he has finished in the top 3.
Imagine that.
In Cy Young board balloting.
So if he's not winning it, he's awfully close. A little bit low. Higginson took a close pitch.
You know, people here in Boston say that Pedro just absolutely loves to pitch in this weather. Very hot, very humid, a lot like the weather he's from Dominican Republic.
Well, Martinez with the Cy Youngs in 97, 99, and 2000. He is a 6-time All-Star. And Higginson staying alive, battling Pedro here with 1 out in the first inning. You are not going to see too many hitters that have outstanding lifetime numbers against Martinez. And for Higginson, 3 for 14.
He has probably been the premier right-handed pitcher the last 10 years since leaving Montreal. I don't think there's been anybody better. I mean, there's been some guys that have had some outstanding years, right-handed pitchers. Clemens comes to mind. His teammate Schilling comes to mind. But consistency, this is the guy.
He got him looking. So much movement on that pitch, and Higginson thought it would be inside. It drops in for strike 3. And they start the strikeout watch for Martinez.
A nice little comeback action on the fastball. You can see the way he was holding the ball. It's almost like he rolls it off of his thumb. Ball looks like it's going to be outside and tails right back over the dish. It's a nice call by Laz Diaz.
That'll bring up Carlos Pena now with 2 outs. Carlos batting in the 3 slot tonight. With all of the Tigers starters that are out, Pudge Rodriguez not playing tonight, along with Rondell White and Carlos Guillen. 3 very, very big bats missing tonight. And Pena has been swinging it, so he gets the call in the 3 slot. Here's the 1-1. Pena has showed that he likes hitting in this ballpark. In fact, he is a .406 lifetime hitter here at Fenway Park. A ballpark that is very familiar to him. He grew up in the Boston area. They want the appeal down at 30. Did not go. That's Wally Bell, last night's home plate umpire.
And next pitch will tell you just how confident Pedro is tonight. 3-1 first inning. Will he challenge Pena with a fastball right down the middle?
Yep, and it's strike 2. Pena just a couple of days ago had his 11-game hitting streak snapped. Varitek the catcher, setting up for a 3-2 pitch. Martinez does not throw as hard as he once did. In fact, Pedro in his heyday would bring it up at 96, 97 plus. And now he has had to adjust to a less than speedy fastball, at least not the velocity he's had in the past.
And where is he getting from? He's
Here come the Red Sox now as we go to the bottom of the first in Boston. Still no score in this one. Terry Francona has turned in his lineup card. Here's what it looks like. Dave Roberts leads it off in left. Mark Bellhorn is second. Johnny Damon in center. Middle 3 of Ortiz, Varitek, and Millar. And a bottom 3 of Orlando Cabrera, who right now is on a 12-game hitting streak. Bill Miller and Gabe Kapler rounds it out. Pitching report for the Tigers, right-hander Jeremy Bonderman.
It was a masterpiece what he twirled against the Chicago White Sox 5 days ago. His first complete career shutout. He's among the leaders in strikeouts, just a tad below Pedro with 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Which Jeremy Bonderman will we get? He's had a couple of starts here in Fenway. One very good and one not so good.
I vote for the very good tonight.
Why not? The way he looked 5 days ago, and he appears to be on that same mission again tonight.
And that fastball starting out at 94 on the guns, so he's coming out with some pretty good heat.
Well, in this kind of weather, a guy like Bonderman might dial up to 97 for us tonight, or maybe even 98, because you know he's feeling awfully good out there going up against Pedro in this type of atmosphere.
And it's so much easier to get loose in the warm, humid weather. The 1-1. On the ground to the right side, nice high hop for Pena, who will make the play himself, and one away. Let's check out the Tigers defense tonight. It is brought to you as always by our friends at Rico. Brandon Inge getting the start behind the plate for Pudge Rodriguez tonight. For Brandon, his 24th start behind the plate. Munson is at third, Smith at short, Infante and Pena on the right side, Thames, Monroe, and Higgy in the outfield. Bonderman and Inge, your battery. Mark Bellhorn, the batter, with one out.
Yeah, Pudge Rodriguez caught Bonderman 5 days ago. Bob Pluck said he would simply tell Brandon Inge, stay with that same type of game plan that they had 5 days ago and go right after these hitters.
Here's Pudge, who will watch the action tonight. He was getting ready to pinch hit late in the ballgame last night, but never got in. And sitting out again this evening, under the weather. Fly ball lifted into right field, where Higginson is coming in. 2 gone. That's a big bat that's sitting on the bench tonight. In fact, there are a couple others that have joined him.
Yeah, that's the three-headed monster right there. Look at the numbers these guys have put up this year. All three sitting on the sidelines tonight as they go up against arguably the toughest right-handed pitcher in all of baseball, Pedro Martinez.
Here's Johnny Damon batting in the 3 slot for this one this evening. Just the second time this year he has batted third.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez not in the game tonight. Hit a ball off his left knee last night.
Red Sox a little bit banged up as well.
Yeah, but when they get banged up, they got a $125 million payroll. They can go get another guy sitting on the bench making about $2 million.
They have a little bit more experience sitting on their bench. That's on the ground to the shortstop. Jason Smith handles his first opportunity, and it's scooped by Pena. Nicely done by Carlos. It is a bell tire 1-2-3 inning. Dimitri Young will start things off in the second. Here is Dimitri Young to start it off against Pedro Martinez. Young, Craig Monroe, and Eric Munson in the second.
That Fox pregame show is hilarious.
It's dynamite, isn't it? Extremely entertaining and informative. 0-2. Dimitri Young sporting a 5-game hitting streak right now.
It's one of the things that makes Pedro so tough to hit is the fact that he gets ahead of you just about every time you go to the dish. And a lot of times it's almost impossible to get a guy like Pedro once he's gotten ahead of you, no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Martinez is also a guy that has gone deep into ball games. It is nothing special for him to throw 100 or more pitches. There's another strikeout. He caught Dimitri looking, and that's his third of the game now. 3 in a row for Pedro.
Well, let's take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch. Pedro going after Dimitri Young. Oh, sorry about that. We don't have it, but we'll get it for you next time.
It happens so fast that sometimes you can't cue it up that quickly.
Well, you know.
Here's Craig Monroe. Monroe recently had his 11-game hitting streak come to an end. Craig batting a solid .289 and homered in the ball game last night. On the ground to the shortstop. Cabrera on the backhand. 2 gone. Martinez has thrown 100 pitches in 10 straight starts.
Number 31,
and he pitches in front of packed houses in all of his home starts here, and has really excelled at home. He's 7-1 at Fenway. Here is Eric Munson with 2 outs.
You know, there's a certain electricity in the entire city on nights where Pedro is going to pitch. I mean, that's all everyone was talking about today at the hotel.
Well, it's a tough enough ticket to get regardless of who's pitching, but when you throw Pedro on the mound, it really becomes an energized event. Oh, we hit him. And Munson will take one for the team, a 2-out hit batter. Tigers have their second runner of the game as Munson heads to first base.
left fielder, number 33, Marcus Thames.
He didn't rub it, but I know it hurt, and it's going to hurt later on as well.
Well, fortunately, it didn't get him directly on the knee. It looked like it was a little bit above the knee. A little bit more padding there. And for Alan Trammell, the last thing you want to see are more guys coming out of ball games.
Alan Trammell could have gone with Nook Logan tonight instead of going with Marcus Thames, but he felt like Thames going against Pedro. If Pedro did make a mistake with the short portion left, Thames has the power to connect.
He threads the outside corner. 0-1.
That's a tough pitch to hit. 92 miles an hour on the outside black. He has got tremendous command. Most guys have pretty good control. Pedro controlled the ball exactly where he wants to, when he wants to.
And that's why I think it has been a lot easier for Martinez to make that crossover from power pitcher to a guy that really has to hit his spots. He was always hitting his spots.
Yep.
And so it really hasn't been a huge adjustment for him. And now Thames behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And there are a lot of pitchers that once they're hard throwers, guys that throw 95, 96, and once they lose that blazing fastball, pretty much their careers are over. They can't make that adjustment that you're talking about, going back to the touch and field type game, working down in the strike zone.
High fly ball into center field. Johnny Damon backing up to retire the side. Tigers get a 2-out base runner, strand a man. We go to the bottom of the second. Ortiz, Varitek, and Millar coming up for the Red Sox. David Ortiz, Jason Varitek, and Kevin Millar in the second inning. Bonderman had an easy 1-2-3 first. High pop-up, shallow center. Jason Smith going back. The center fielder Monroe doesn't see it, and they're all bailed out by Marcus Thames. Craig Monroe never saw that ball in center field, and Bonderman breathing a sigh of relief. Nice play, Marcus.
That's what you've got some other guys out there for, but Monroe, what he's going to do, he puts his hands up right away and says he doesn't see it, and therefore Marcus able to come over and make the play. Hands go up. Now Marcus and Bobby Higginson, they know that he cannot see it, and that's when they can come in and make a play.
How about that for a helpless feeling if you're Craig Monroe?
Been there, done that. And it is a helpless feeling when you don't see the ball, or that ball gets caught in the lights. You think it's going to hit you right smack dab in the face.
Well, that one worked out well for the Tigers. Jason Varitek, the switch hitting catcher, hammers this one to right field. Higginson on the run, won't get it. It'll go to the wall, and it's extra bases for Varitek. He is going to hit the bag at second and hold there. It's a 1-out double, and the Red Sox have their first hit.
One thing Bonderman must do, however, because he's pretty much attacked everybody with the first pitch fastball, and he's continued to come after a very good fastball hitting team. He's going to have to change speeds a little bit more in this game than he did 5 days ago, because these guys are much better than the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, and if they're sitting first pitch fastball, this is what can happen.
That ball was absolutely scorched. Looked like your 3-iron.
Yes, it did. After it bounced around the trees a few times. Here's Kevin Millar. Millar trying to drive in a run, is in the throes of a 3-4-26 slump. He is just an old-fashioned baseball player from the way he looks, the way he wears the uniform.
And you know the thing I admire about him most, Mario, is the fact that this guy hasn't changed since the first day I met him in 1993.
He's had to work hard for everything he's gotten.
He was undrafted when he came to spring training with the Florida Marlins, didn't have a job. He ended up starting at first base in King County, and he has not looked back since then, and he's the same guy today that he was 11 years ago. And you can't say that about a lot of big leaguers.
Breaking ball misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. How important, Rod, is it going to be for Bonderman tonight to establish a changeup, a pitch that he has had difficulty with this year?
I don't think it's going to be that important at all, because it's a pitch that he doesn't have a lot of conviction when throwing it. And if you're the Red Sox, you can pretty much see when Bonderman's going to throw that changeup. I know, me sitting upstairs sometimes, I can look at Bonderman's face when he looks in for the sign, and sometimes I can tell that the changeup's been called, because he just has that look on his face. I don't really want to throw this pitch.
2-2 on Kevin Millar. In the air and deep, but hooking foul way back out of play.
Bonderman has 2 above-average pitches. The fastball, 95-96, and a disappearing, darting, filthy slider. If he could concentrate on those 2 pitches tonight, he got a pretty good chance of winning this game.
First scoring opportunity for the Red Sox tonight. Swung out and missed. Off speed and way out in front was Millar.
He's back.
Well, he threw it there for his first strikeout.
You know, he took a little bit off of the breaking ball here. That's not the quick one that he normally throws. That one was a little bit slower. Therefore, Millar fooled him out in front. Millar's like, I can't hit that.
Not that time, at least. And now Bonderman with a chance to pitch out of the jam here against Cabrera.
I told Millar the other day that Bonderman was going to be tough on him tonight. He didn't believe me.
He may be more of a believer right now.
He said he was going to look up at me.
Strike called on Cabrera.
I'm going to have to look down on him because he might not look up here.
Not sure he can see you all the way up here. Cabrera batting .282, a 12-game hitting streak right now for the Boston shortstop. And again, the fastball for Bonderman with good velocity tonight. Cabrera's 12-game hitting streak is the longest current streak. A couple of White Sox right behind him.
He's finally starting to relax a little bit, talking about Cabrera since coming over from the Montreal Expos. Talk about playing in 2 different venues. You go from playing in front of 2,000 to 40 a night.
On the ground to the shortstop. Smith has it. And Bonderman able to pitch out of the jam. The 1-out double by Varitek is stranded. Good job by Jeremy. Brandon Inge will lead it off for the Tigers. Pedro Martinez has hit a batter and given up a single in this ball game, but no damage done otherwise. And he has struck out 3.
Pedro's got the old-fashioned hairdo working. The Jerry curl.
Seems to be working nicely for him. And he misses high to Brandon Inge. Smith and then Infante will follow. Inge has started 17 of the last 18 now for the Tigers. On the ground to the third baseman. Miller to his left. Throws high. The tag not in time. Pulled him off. And Millar is saying, I tagged him as he went by. And we'll get an argument. That's Bill Welke, the first base umpire, and Terry Francona talking about it.
You know, Bill Miller didn't play in last night's game because of a bad back. And once the feet stop, once you're shuffling to your left and you're trying to make a throw, if your feet stop, you're not going to be able to get on top of the baseball. The arm's going to drop, and you're going to see some throws that are elevated over toward first base. Did not get on top of the throw. He may throw like that all night with that bad back.
E5 on the play.
I couldn't tell whether he tagged him or not.
It was hard to tell on the replay.
I like this decision by Alan Trammell. Sacrifice bunt. You get the first guy on. You try to get a runner down into scoring position and hope that somebody can get a base hit to drive in Brandon Inge.
Smith getting the start at short in place of Carlos Guillen. Drops down the bunt. Back to Martinez. Only one play, and the sacrifice worked to perfection by Jason Smith. And the Tigers get their first runner to second base tonight. Bring up the top of the order, Omar Infante.
People think that's easy. That is not easy by any stretch of the imagination for a guy that doesn't play every day to come up and bunt a guy that's throwing as hard as Pedro is. That's big league play. Looks simple, but it's hard to do.
Infante had a single to start the ball game and tried to stretch it to a double and was thrown out by Johnny Damon. He'll try and pick up Inge now at second base.
Here's where Pedro gets tough. Men in scoring position.
The one stat that really is an eye-opener for me, Martinez has an ERA under 3 against every American League club. Woo. A lifetime ERA of less than 3. So the Tigers are not alone in having little success against this guy over the years.
So that means every time he takes the mound, all his team has to do is score him 4 runs, and they're going to get a W.
Pretty much. Swung on and missed. Boy, here's what you were talking about, Rod. 228 with runners on.
He is awfully stingy.
He has Infante in the hole. 0-2. Got it. Another strikeout for Pedro. That is his 4th of the ball game.
And he threw him 3 different pitches. The first pitch was a cut fastball at about 84. The next one he went to 91, threw it right by him. And then he comes back with his big loopy breaking ball that just falls off the table. Look at this ball just fall right off the table. Boop.
Was that the actual sound it made?
Could have been.
52 strikeouts in his last 40 innings, so he's made that sound quite a bit of late. Here's Higginson. Bobby fanned back in the first inning. 1 for 8 in the series. Toward the shortstop. Cabrera on to first to retire the side. So the Tigers unable to score. They get a man as far as second base. Miller, Kepler, Roberts due up for the Red Sox. Miller leads it off for the Red Sox. First pitch swinging, bangs into right, and a base hit for Miller.
Jeremy's going to have to mix it up a little bit. That's the 23rd pitch that he's thrown in this game. He's thrown 17 strikes. He's only thrown 6 balls. It doesn't take these Red Sox long to figure out what you're doing. He needs to make sure he continues to change, continues to use all of his pitches.
Here is the number 9 hitter, Gabe Kapler. Former Tiger, former Ranger, former Rocky. Fastball tails inside. 1-0 on Kapler, batting .274. Red Sox are missing Trot Nixon. And of course tonight as well, Manny Ramirez out of the lineup. Manny fouled one off his knee last night, and that's why he's not going tonight.
They took x-rays. The x-rays were negative. And Terry Francona, first-year skipper of the Boston Red Sox.
Here's the 2-0. Kapler bangs one off his foot.
Francona and I were teammates for a couple of years in the Cleveland Indians organization. We played together in AAA Buffalo, and then we played together in Colorado Springs and also in Cleveland. He knows Tito very well.
He seems like a great guy. Is he a good teammate?
He is a good teammate. Of course, his dad's name is Tito, but everyone calls Terry Tito.
Kapler steps out on Bonderman. Jeremy trying to get his first win of his career against the Red Sox. He came in 0-3 against them.
You know, batting ninth for the Red Sox. This is a guy that Bonderman needs to dominate tonight. Number 9 hitter in last night's game, Ricky Gutierrez, had 3 base hits in the game.
Not to mention a couple of RBIs, which really stung last night when the 9-hole hitter does that much damage.
And then the day before that, Dave Roberts was a thorn in their side. It really hadn't been Manny, David Ortiz, Norm Millar, not the big guys. It's been the little guys in this Boston Red Sox lineup that have helped them win the first 2 games of the series.
Fought that one off and bounces it back to the mound. Bonderman takes his time, and for Kapler, that's basically as good as the sacrifice.
Bonderman looks as good tonight as he did 5 days ago. He doesn't have the strikeouts, but his stuff is still explosive. The fastball is exploding, and the breaking ball is an exceptional pitch. And he appears to have that same mindset, Mario, as he did 5 days ago, attacking the glove, getting ahead, staying ahead, and trying to finish off some hitters. That's exactly what Bob Cluck said he would like to see him do tonight.
He just had that look in his eye in his last start against the White Sox. In that complete game shutout, the 14th strikeout effort, he seems to have that same type of attitude here tonight, not intimidated at all by the setting or the Red Sox lineup. Roberts, the leadoff man, looks at a strike.
You know, there's been a lot of talk in Detroit the last month or so about the Tigers going out and signing a #1 ace. And those guys don't fall off trees. There's only a few of them running around, to be exact.
Well, if you have one or two, you tend to want to hold on to them.
Yes, you do. And one of the things Bob Cluck said is when you do go after a pitcher that is considered a #1 guy, more than likely he's on the decline, and you're going to have to overpay for him. He says, therefore, what you want to do is you develop your own #1 starters within your organization. Then you can have them around for 3 or 4 years before they get to free agency.
Tigers trying to do that very thing with names like Ledesma and Bonderman. Strike called on the inside part of the plate.
He's got a good fastball today, and he is locating it on the inside part of the plate at the knees. Roberts didn't think that was a strike, but boy, it sounded like one. And it looked like one too. How about the force of the fastball carrying Brandon Inn's glove way inside after he caught it?
Yeah, it actually pulled it out of the strike zone, but Les Diaz wasn't fooled by that, fortunately. Tap slowly toward first. Pena will make the play himself, and the runner will advance to third base now. So a couple of ground balls, sending Miller to third.
You know, make no mistake about it, what the Boston Red Sox are seeing tonight is we get a look at his top speed and his low speed. 15-mile-per-hour differential. That's not bad at all. The Red Sox haven't seen many guys this year with the electricity that Bonderman has. Now, whether he could sustain it through the game, command his fastball, and change speeds enough to beat these guys remains to be seen. But guys that have the kind of stuff that Bonderman has, you don't see them very often at this level.
Mark Bellhorn is 0 for 1. So far, so good for Jeremy. 2 2/3.
And it's good that he's not concentrating on getting strikeouts tonight, getting outs, which is the key.
You combine that with his last start, 11 2/3 scoreless innings. Bellhorn is 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right field.
When you look at this Red Sox team, you would think that guys like Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz would somehow be leading their team in strikeouts. Not the case. Bellhorn is leading the American League in strikeouts with 127.
Well, and he also walks a ton, which is sort of an odd combination.
Yeah, he leads their team in strikeouts and walks with 71.
How often do you see that?
It's rare. He could have the green light right here if Bonderman decides to throw him a fastball right down the middle. Be careful with it.
Damon waiting on deck. Breaking ball missed outside, and so a walk for Bellhorn. We'll put him at the corners now, and the #3 hitter will stroll in. Not before Inge walks out to the mound to have a chat with Bonderman. Leadoff single by Miller. 2 outs later, a walk to Bellhorn. His left runners at first and third for Johnny Damon. Damon is 0 for 1 tonight. And a first pitch strike again with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball for Bonderman. And it was the location of that pitch which made it special. On the outside part of the plate, not a whole lot Damon could do with it.
Bonderman doing tonight what Maroth couldn't do last night, although there were 3 errors made behind Maroth, which caused him to throw more pitches than he normally would have had to throw. But Maroth threw over 100 pitches in just 5 innings last night. And so did Jason Johnson in the very first night here, up to 100 pitches around the 5th inning. Bonderman's at a really nice pace right now.
Yeah, and this Boston team will do that to you. They are very patient at the plate. Swung on and missed. Damon goes down, and Bonderman pitches out of the jam here in the 3rd. A big strikeout of the number 3 hitter. Pena, Young, and Monroe coming up for the Tigers.
Against that guy, I don't know what to do. I mean, you try to do the best you can, and you know, he's awesome. You know, even at this point of his career, he's still just dominating hitters. You know, and he proved it to us last time. You know, he pitched against us here in Detroit, but we hope that when we go to Boston, it'll be totally different. So we're ready.
Well, in that start, 11 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez, and the numbers for Carlos lifetime, 1 for 8.
Didn't Pedro strike out like the first 5 hitters of the game? That start?
Yes. And he has a few already tonight with a total of 4. He got Pena via the strikeout back in the 1st inning.
So far, this one's shaping up just as we envisioned it. The pitcher's duel.
One ball and 1 strike on Carlos.
It was good to see our buddy Mark the Bird Fidrich on the Mike's Hard Lemonade pregame show today.
Bird's still going strong, man. He can tell those stories.
Yeah, he's 50 years old now, he sees.
Is that right?
A half a century.
How did that happen? The comebacker that missed high on Pena. Tigers had a single in the 1st, a hit batter in the 2nd. They had a runner reach on an error in the 3rd. We talk about changing speeds. Martinez has done a great job of that tonight.
You know, not only does he have the fastball that he'll start at the left-handed batters that tails over the inside part of the plate, he also has a cut fastball that he'll start off the plate outside to the left-handers that catches the outside corner, that last pitch to Pena.
Hit hard, but foul. He got a hold of that one. It was on the inside part of the plate. He just yanked it. Two and two.
Yeah, pretty much when you go up against Pedro, every at-bat, he's going to give you 1 pitch to hit. You can't miss it because that's probably the only one that you're going to get.
That's hit hard again, but a leaping play by Kevin Millar. Wow.
When you have this type of game that's moving as fast as it's moving, and you have guys that are throwing a lot of strikes, you're going to see some dandy defensive plays, and this is the dandy. Millar, who can't jump at all, somehow climbs the ladder to make a play.
Maybe it's the new beard. Now, how do you know he can't jump at all?
He can't jump.
You know him really well, so I'll go on your word. Dimitri loops one back a short. That'll drop in. Base hit. Young has a 1-out single. And it's time for tonight's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Here's your question tonight. Who are the 2 players the Red Sox traded to the Expos for Pedro Martinez in 1997? Who'd they give up?
It's a good question.
Really good one.
You know the answer to that
I
question
think I
tonight,
do.
don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
I know one of them.
Just based on the research of getting ready for this game. And I was told not to use that piece of research until after the Aflac trivia question.
Well, we better be careful because this is going to make like 2 days in a row that we have gotten the Aflac trivia question correct.
Well, yeah, well, you got it last night. So 2 in a row would be awfully impressive. Monroe is 0 for 1 with a bounce out in this one.
And Pedro saw that ball that Monroe hit last night to straightaway center field about 430 feet from home plate. It was a fastball. Pedro has given him a steady diet so far tonight of all breaking balls.
For Monroe, recently an 11-game hitting streak came to an end, but still in his last 33 games he is at .330 and really has forced his way basically back in the lineup for the Tigers, seeing a lot more time in the outfield.
Fastball up in the strike zone.
Boy, Varitek was basically standing up waiting for that last pitch.
Just a little show me pitch. They were hoping that maybe he would swing at it. Now he can come back with whatever he wants. Probably the next breaking ball down and away from him.
A little bit outside. You know, on that previous pitch, when the catcher is standing up like that, as a hitter, can't you see that out of the side of your eye?
No, you really can't.
Really?
No, because he stands up late. And if you're peeking back there at the catcher, you're going to get drilled, because a lot of times the catchers are watching your eyes and they're looking to see if you're trying to cheat as to where they're set up at. And if you look back there a little bit too late, the next time you go to the plate, you might find one in your rib cage.
Fastball away is lifted in the air, hit well into left field. Roberts is back, he'll turn, and it is off the wall. Dimitri on his way to third. They're going to send him home. Here comes Young to the plate. He will score, and Monroe has a double and an RBI, and the Tigers take the lead. '48th RBI of the season for Craig Monroe. Dimitri Young scores.
Great at bat by Craig Monroe, who has gotten a lot of big hits since coming back off the disabled list. It was a breaking ball, but the count was 3-2. Therefore, he had to throw a strike with it. Almost a spectacular play by Roberts. Very good base running by Dimitri. He got all the way to second base. Once the ball dropped, Samuel was able to score him.
Well, he might as well get another one in. Monroe is at second base now, and it's his 23rd double of the year. Here's Eric Munson. Jammed him, little looper into shallow right. Kepler will come in to make the play. 2 outs.
Left fielder, number 33.
1 out single by Dimitri Young, and then Monroe follows with a double off the monster and left.
There's been 3 balls hit in this inning that have been hit extremely hard. Pena lined out sharply to Millar to lead off the inning.
Here's Marcus Thames. Thames fly to center field his first time.
If you're Monroe with 2 outs, you've got to get a good secondary lead. You've got to get off as far as you possibly can. If that ball's hitting the outfield, you've got to get a good jump and make sure that you can score.
Martinez has been beaten only once at home this year. He's 7-1 with an ERA a shade over 3 in his 12 Fenway starts. 6-4 on the road, so he's been much better at home. And again, he stays away from Thames. And here are the splits. Home and road for Martinez.
So far, Tigers batters in this inning have done a nice job of getting themselves in some pretty good hitters counts. And Thames is looking at a 2-1 count right now. Ooh. What you call a hanging breaking ball right there. But most of the times when you recognize breaking ball, you're not looking for the ball up and in. When you recognize breaking ball, you're looking for the ball down and away.
Full count on Marcus Thames. He's battling. Brandon Inge waiting in the on-deck circle. The RBI double by Monroe has given the Tigers the 1-0 lead. Hung another one, and it was grounded foul. That is a new ball person down the third base line tonight. We had a young lady last night who took one off the shin. I wonder if she went on the DL. She has a replacement there tonight. Martinez trying to finish off Thames. Marcus looking for the 2-out hit. RBIs in his last 23 games. And again, Marcus is a guy that has taken advantage of the opportunities he's been given here in the second half. He lost in ball 4. It's a good at bat there by Thames. A 2-out walk. And clearly Martinez was trying to get him to go fishing. Had a couple of those pitches late in that count. He ends up walking it.
Number 15, Brandon Inge.
2-out chance now for Brandon Inge. Inge reaching on the air back in the third. The Tigers have had at least one base runner in every inning so far.
Derek Lowe took off to Pedro glasses.
Snap throw, and they got him. Thames is out. Picked off by Varitek. And that hurts. But the Tigers take the lead on the Monroe double. Tigers have taken a 1-0 lead, but they had a runner picked off.
You take a look at Millar behind Tim, sneaking in behind him, and something else that Millar did with his right leg, he blocked the base so Timms couldn't get there. Take a look at the right leg. He's blocking it. There's no way that Timms could get to the bag. Bag totally blocked. See Ron Jackson and Kevin Millar looking over some pitching charts.
Well, Bonderman has a lead to work with now as Ortiz stands in. Ortiz, Varitek, and Millar. So far so good for Jeremy. He did give up the double in the second and a hit and a walk in the third, but the Red Sox have not been able to get to him so far.
And David Ortiz with 33 home runs and 112 driven in. Already career highs for him. And September's not even upon us yet.
Ortiz also homered in the All-Star game this year, and what a find he has been for the Red Sox. Huge numbers and really forming an unbelievable 1-2 punch with Manny Ramirez when Ramirez is in the lineup.
It is the most lethal 1-2 combination in the American League.
Yeah, statistically it has been. The 3-1. Ortiz was released by the Twins after the 2002 season, then signed as a free agent by the Red Sox, and had what at that point was a career year. Last year, 31 homers, 101 RBIs.
And the reason why they allowed to let him go was the fact that they had Doug Minkiewicz as their everyday first baseman.
Swung out and missed.
Oh my goodness. After a steady diet of fastballs, falling behind 3 balls, no strikes, to come back and throw a breaking ball and locate it here is exceptional by Bonderman.
You got to have some confidence to throw that pitch.
Oh, he has a lot of confidence out there right now.
In that count to that guy.
Ortiz was looking out there at him after the pitch, and he was thinking to himself, how can you make that pitch in that situation?
Here is Varitek.
Bonderman's kept all 35,000 of these people in attendance quiet tonight, hasn't he?
Sure has. They haven't had too much to cheer about.
These people ain't usually this quiet.
Veritek had the double back in the second. Sox could not score him, however.
He's a free agent after the season.
There is talk that obviously the two priorities here in Boston are signing Pedro and signing this guy right here, Veritek.
Well, you brought it up last night. Switch hitting catchers that can hit you a bunch of home runs, don't fall off trees.
High towering fly ball to center. Monroe is there at the edge of the track. 2 gone. Here's our Aflac trivia question and answer tonight.
Aflac.
Once again, the question: who are the 2 players the Red Sox traded to the Expos for Pedro Martinez in 1997? And they were Carl Pavano, now with the Marlins, and Tony Armas.
And Carl Pavano is having an outstanding year down in Florida.
Kevin Millar fouled it off on the check swing. Millar struck out against Bonderman back in the second. Three now for his last 27. This is popped up, foul ground, giving Chase Pena will run out of room. Millar became a more important hitter in this lineup when they traded away Nomar Garcia-Parra, basically because he has to provide the protection for the 2 guys we talked about, Ramirez and Ortiz, batting behind them. And he's had some good stretches this year and some tough ones as well. Jeremy had that fastball get away. Swing and a miss. Bonderman continues to cruise along. 4 strikeouts for Jeremy. A 1-2-3 4th inning. He has kept this good hitting Red Sox team at bay tonight. Against the Red Sox and Pedro Martinez. And out in front of the off-speed pitch is Brandon Inge. Inge and then Smith and then Infante. Did it hit him? Yes. He tried to spin out of the way, and Inge is nicked by the pitch. Pedro doesn't think so. He is staring in now at Laz Diaz.
The shortstop, number 44, Jason Smith.
If it got him, it might have got him on the shirt, right on the sleeve.
The Red Sox anticipating that Jason Smith will be up there bunting once again, trying to get a runner in the scoring position.
Drags this one down the first base line. They thought about going to second, but Millar made the right play.
It's a nice bunt right there by Jason Smith. We talked about the fact that a guy that doesn't play every single day, for him to come in and to be successful on 2 sacrifice bunts speaks volumes about the way that he prepares. He knows where he has to bunt the ball. Millar has a responsibility at first base of holding on Brandon in, so you bunt the ball in that direction and you make him vacate his position. It's a nice job of bunting there.
So put the man in scoring position. Bring up the top of the order now. Omar Infante. Tigers trying to piece together another run. They got a single by Young in the 4th and then a double by Monroe off the monster to make it 1-0. And a strike called on Infante, who wasn't too sure about that last one.
And Brandon Inge has a lot of room out at second base. Cabrera not worried about him at all. Bellhorn, the second baseman, is somewhat close to him, but as far as they'll allow you to get off, if you're Brandon, you want to take advantage of your maximum lead. That way on a base hit, there is no play at home plate. Go ahead and get off of there.
Back toward the second baseman. And Bellhorn will throw out. Infante, runner holds. 2 gone.
The right fielder, number 4.
Martinez, 32 years old. And his future with the Red Sox will be decided this offseason. What a pitcher he has been in this uniform. He has averaged over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings in his career.
How does it get to a point where you have a pitcher the caliber of a Pedro Martinez and you allow him to go out there as a free agent?
That's why I don't think it'll happen. And I think the trading away of Nomar Garcia-Parra really opens up the door now for them to sign Pedro Martinez and Jason Varitek. They had Ortiz, who was a free agent. They have signed him. And so with Nomar out of the picture now, it's hard to believe they would let him go. And there was talk early in the season, because he had lost a lot of his velocity, that maybe his days in Boston were numbered. But boy, has he responded and learned to use his other stuff and has not needed that high 90s fastball.
Well, maybe Mr. Illich is listening, and maybe he may want Pedro.
Wouldn't that be nice?
We'll take Pedro over Derek Lowe.
That one just missed.
No one thought that Mr. Illich would allow David Dombrowski to go out there and bring Pudge Rodriguez in. You never know.
Well, would you take Derek Lowe in that outfit?
I take him any way that he wants to come, the way he pitched last night.
I agree with you. There's ball 4, and Martinez issues the 2-out walk.
The Tigers have had some nice at-bats against Pedro. They've been aggressive early in the game because he throws a lot of strikes, but then after he got hit around the last half inning, 3 guys in a row hit balls hard: Pena, Dimitri, and Monroe. Now he started picking on the corners, and now the hitters are taking those close pitches and continuing to get themselves in good hitters counts.
First baseman, number 12.
The pitch count on Martinez at 69 right now. Pedro has 4 strikeouts, hasn't had one since the 3rd. He was piling up a few early on. And this is a guy that has struck out 10 or more in 5 of his last 6 starts. Here's Carlos Pena. Pena really hit the ball hard his last time up. He drilled it to Kevin Millar at first base, who made a leaping play on it. So Martinez has not been nearly as efficient in the last couple of innings. And as a result, the Tigers have been able to threaten a little bit. They actually did get the run in the 4th. That's hammered down the right field line. Hooking. That ball is foul.
Whoa!
Just foul, and Pena can't believe it. What do you mean it's not fair? And here comes Alan Trammell. He took a shot at the pesky foul pole down the right field line and almost hooked it around it. In fact, he thought he did. Bill Welke, the first base umpire, now is talking it over with Kelleher and Trammell, and we'll see if a replay can straighten it out for us. Let's take another look.
Oh, it's a good look here. Clearly a foul ball.
Yeah, that's a great look. Martinez's command of that outside corner hasn't been as sharp as it was early in the game. He was pretty much putting the ball where he wanted to. 2 men on for the Tigers. Inge and Higginson. And Pena stays alive.
One thing about Jason Varitek with a runner on second base, he goes through a series of signs and touches his shoulders, inner thigh, knees. He touches a lot of different parts. If you're a base runner at second base, almost impossible to pick up what he's doing. And he moves very, very late.
Up high. 3-2. Dimitri Young waiting on deck. If Pena were to walk, he would bat with the bases loaded. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. And the Tigers are done in the fifth. Cabrera, Miller, and Kapler coming up in a 1-0 game. And Pedro Martinez, 20th all-time now with 2,611 career strikeouts with that last one. He is 89 behind Kurt Schilling, who is 18th, his current teammate. Cabrera, first pitch swinging, pops it up. Craig Monroe sees this one with no problem, one away.
It's a little darker now. You wouldn't expect guys to lose balls anymore, but hey, right as it starts to get dark and the lights come on and still a very high sky, sometimes difficult to pick up pop-ups early in the game.
Here is Bill Miller. And that is what Craig Monroe is looking at, his view from center field.
It's a nice background, though, with all the green press box.
Should make it a little bit easier to see the ball off the bat. Boy, the Red Sox really haven't been able to do a whole lot tonight. They have a single from Miller, just one of their 2 hits in this game against Bonderman, who now has retired 5 in a row. Chasing that letter high fastball is Miller.
Well, Bonderman is pitching like a front of the rotation type guy tonight, as he did 5 days ago. The fastball is very good, and he's not throwing the fastball right down the middle. He is locating it very well, inside, outside, and he's keeping the ball down into knees. Overthrew that last one.
Varitek's double in the second, the only other hit that Bonderman has surrendered. Ball 4. Tying run is on for the Red Sox now, and a walk for Bonderman, his second of the ball game. In that 14 strikeout game against the White Sox, Jeremy walked only 1. And really, in fact, in his last 5, 6, 7 starts, has not had any control trouble. He's walked no more than 2 in any of those starts.
Francona's going to do something here in the 5th inning to try to get Miller down in the scoring position. Kapler has no sacrifice bunts this year. But judging by the way that Bonderman's been dealing all night long, as a manager at some point in time during the game, you have to take it upon yourself to help your team somehow get some guys in scoring position, as Alan Trammell's already done tonight.
One ball, 1 strike on Kapler, who tapped right back to the mound in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. Beach ball loose out in center field. Kapler originally was a draft choice of the Tigers back in 1995. He was selected in, get this, the 57th round. I don't think the draft goes much beyond 50 rounds anymore, does it?
No, not many past that.
It used to be they would draft for days and days and days. Runner goes, and it is low. The throw, not in time. Well, you were right. They're trying to do something to get this guy to scoring position, and they started Miller.
He got a great break. Brandon Inge, really nothing he could do. Once he catches the ball, it kind of catches him off guard. He still throws it down there. Nice job by Infante just to keep the ball in front of him. But, boy, you got to do a better job against a guy like Miller. You can't allow him to steal second base. He can't run.
I feel the pain in your voice. Brandon had a tough pitch to handle there, and not a strong throw, so the tying run in scoring position now for Kepler, who is well ahead in the count, 3-1.
The second stolen base of the year for Bill Miller.
That is low, ball 4, and so back-to-back walks now for Miller and Kepler.
Bob Cluck will have to go out and have a conversation with him now. Settle him down.
One ball and no strikes. The walks to Miller and Kepler have set up an opportunity for the Red Sox. And Roberts has bounced to the first baseman twice tonight. He is 0 for 2. Now Bondo having trouble finding the command and the control here. 2 balls and no strikes. And you're getting into the part of the order and lineup that you really don't want to start losing your control with. He's taking, and it's high, ball 3. And now Alan Trammell will get a good look at how Jeremy responds to this situation. Strike called on the inside corner. 3-1. Roberts trying to coax a walk. Former Dodger, former Indian. Went after that letter high fastball. Fill up the count now. 3-2. Ground ball. Fair ball inside the bag at first base. Miller rounding third. He will score. Kepler right behind him. They're going to hold him up. It's a double and an RBI for Dave Roberts, and we are tied at 1. The perils of falling behind, and Bonderman has paid for it.
But once this ball gets down the line, Bonderman's got one job and one job only, and that's to be backing up behind the plate. Somehow, he was the guy that caught the ball coming in from Bobby Higginson.
So a double and an RBI for Roberts. It's tied at 1, and now Bellhorn will bat with Kepler at third and Roberts at second. Ground ball hit to the second baseman. This will score the run. Kepler comes in, and the Red Sox have their first lead of the game. Bellhorn anticipating first pitch fastball, got one.
That's good situational hitting there as well by Bellhorn, and they got a great break at third base by Kepler. Infante for a moment entertained the thought of coming home, but then thought better of it.
Roberts moves to third. Bellhorn gets the RBI, and here's Johnny Damon. Damon is 0 for 2, struck out against Bonderman back in the third. The 2 walks in this inning have both come around to score. Each team now with 3 hits.
Bonderman's stuff is still awfully good when he throws it over the plate.
Trying to keep his poise here in the 5th inning. Damon in the series down 3 for 11. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 11 ball games. Slaps it foul. Another big year for Johnny Damon. 14 home runs. He has knocked in 64. He'll score better than 100 again this year. Popped him up in the air to center, should end the inning. And Monroe hauls it in, but the Red Sox come up with a couple of runs to take the lead. We go to the 6th. Young, Monroe, and Munson on the way. Nighttime in Boston as we head to the 6th inning. The Red Sox have claimed the lead now, their first lead of the game. And Bonderman gives up a pair and a couple of walks. Both came around to score. And it's a one-run ball game now. Pedro Martinez back to the hill facing Dimitri Young. It'll be Young, Monroe, and Munson in the 6th inning. Off-speed pitch and way out in front is Dimitri. Young got the rally going in the 4th inning with a single. Came around in the double by Monroe for the Tigers' run tonight. Pop this one up. Robertson left.
Take a look at Pedro, how he changes the grip that he has while already starting his delivery. You got to be awfully crafty to do something like that.
You don't normally see that. That was a great shot. You'll see pitchers fiddle with that grip as they're taking their sign, but usually not when you're in the windup. One ball, one strike on Monroe. Doubled off the wall and left in the 4th inning for his 48th RBI. Tigers have dropped the first 2 games in this series. Are getting a well-pitched ball game tonight from Bonderman, and Pedro Martinez so far has limited the Tigers to just 1 run. Right into the glove of the catcher Veritek. 6 strikeouts now for Martinez.
Let's take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch. Pedro didn't waste a whole lot of time. Slow breaking ball to get ahead of Monroe. Show me fastball, then he's going to come back with a changeup and then finishes them off with a fastball at the knees on the outside black.
That's lined into right field for a base hit, and Eric Munson has a 2-out single. So he is aboard for the 2nd time tonight. He was hit by a pitch earlier in the ball game. Tigers have another hit.
Left fielder, number 33, Marcus.
And a chance for Marcus Thames, who had himself a terrific at-bat back in the 4th inning. A long at-bat working Pedro for a walk, but then he was picked off first base. Thames 0 for 1 with his walk tonight. On the outside corner, 0-1. The Red Sox coming in tonight had won 10 of their last 11 and 13 of 16. They had a slim lead over the Angels in the wild card, who were defeated today by Johan Santana and the Minnesota Twins. Terry Francona hoping his team can have that lead a little bit. Although now, with the Red Sox getting closer to the Yankees, they're starting to talk about winning the East.
Yep, they are. Red Sox at 18-7 so far in the month of August are tied with the Anaheim Angels for the best record in all of baseball. in that month. In this month, I should say.
Angels had a 9-game winning streak ended in the American League East. These are the updated numbers.
And look at the rest of the teams. 21, 22, and 28.
The Yankees put up 18 runs today.
Yeah, they did. Against Toronto.
Two and two.
Johan Santana of the Minnesota Twins also beat the Anaheim Angels today for his 15th win of the year. Is he the Cy Young Award winner today for you?
Mulder has more wins, but this guy's been more dominating, I think. Santana.
Look at the wild card. Updated. Boston a game up over Anaheim, who's already lost today.
I got to go with Santana to answer your question. 2-2 pitch. Full count now.
And once again, Marcus has had a terrific at-bat against Pedro. Not swinging at the borderline pitches, whether they be inside or outside. But now here comes the true test, because Pedro's one of those guys that you can't really anticipate he's going to give you a fastball here, because he has command with all three of his pitches. Look baseball, get a strike, hit it hard.
Swung on and missed. 7 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez. Tigers strand man. Coming up for the Red Sox, Ortiz, Veritek, Millar. Bottom of the 6th inning now at Fenway Park in a 2-1 ball game. Jeremy Bonderman back to the hill, and he has had some good success early in this game with 4 strikeouts.
Well, one thing Jeremy did do early in the game, he was able to get ahead of some of these Red Sox hitters, and he still has that disappearing breaking ball, which he has gotten the majority of those strikeouts on. But the one inning that kind of cost him was the walk and then allowing Bill Miller to steal second base.
Yeah, falling behind with a couple of walks in that 5th inning. And here's a comparison with Pedro tonight. The numbers straight up against each other. David Ortiz stands in. Swinging on the first pitch, pops it up. Sailing back toward the seats. And in the crowd it goes.
You know, one thing that Jeremy has been able to do when going up against former Cy Young Award winners is compete. He's 3-1 in contest when going up against former Cy Young guys.
I think he gets a little bit extra fired up.
Well, you have to, because you know they're going to be awfully stingy going up against your club, so you better bring your A game.
Ortiz skies this one in the air a mile high into center. Craig Monroe is under it. And Ortiz now is 0 for 3 in this one. Back on the 7th at Comerica Park, their last head-to-head matchup.
Lopsided in the K column, but Jeremy only gave up 3 runs.
They gave up 4 hits in that game in 5 innings. Here is Veritek. 2-base hit back in the 2nd, 1 for 2 for the catcher. (32 years old now, Veritek. That's hammered foul. This one will sail back toward the seats. Veritek was named to his first career All-Star team this season. And quickly climbing the charts on the Red Sox list of games caught. He's 4th all-time now. Two and two. Bonderman had a 1-2-3 first. He got him in order in the 4th. That 5th inning has been the difference. Just missed. And he missed again for ball 4.
You can't forget about Veritek over at first base. He has 7 steals, and he's only been caught 3 times. Maybe just a courtesy throw over there at some point in time just to let him know you're thinking about him.
Good pitch.
He's given Millar a steady diet of breaking balls, and Millar can't pick him up. He's already punched him out twice.
Millar has come a long way from his independent days in the Northern League at St. Paul. He's made himself into a pretty good big league player. Hammers this one foul.
You know, I was telling you earlier that Millar is the same guy today as the guy that I met back in 1993 when I coached him in the Florida Marlins organization. To give you an example of that, this year when Boston went to Minnesota, he and their closer Keith Falk went to a St. Paul's independent league game and watched it.
Busted his bat, popped it up. Inge makes the play. Trying to get back to his roots.
Well, there's just, you know, he didn't forget where he came from. Jeremy got all in his kitchen. After a steady diet of breaking balls, he threw him a fastball inside. Millar thought he could still get to it. Oh, get off me, ball.
That just sounded ugly. You can tell immediately he broke his bat. Inge comes racing out to make the play. 2 gone now.
You know, those are the time when you go back to the dugout, your teammates have all got their heads down, and they're all quietly laughing at you.
Here's Cabrera. Orlando Cabrera is 0 for 2, and right now trying to extend his hitting streak, which is holding steady at 12 games, and it has not been a cheap hitting streak. 20 hits in that span. Trying to pick up Veritek at first base. Lifted in the air to right field, but right there is Higginson. Side retired. Nothing comes to the 1-out walk. We've played 6 complete. 2-1 Boston with Inge, Smith, and Infante due up. Nighttime at Fenway Park in Boston as we go to the 7th inning at a 2-1 ball game here tonight. And for Pedro Martinez, it has been another strong outing. 7 strikeouts, which has pushed him into 20th all time tonight.
Well, he's got terrific command. And one thing about Pedro, once he gets ahead of you with 2 strikes as a hitter, you really don't know what's coming. It could be the backdoor changeup. It could be the elevated fastball, the slider. He has tremendous control, tremendous command, and he's very, very confident on the mound every time he takes a hit. Awfully tough to hit, but the Tigers so far have done a nice job of keeping themselves in this game.
And they're only down a run. As we head to the 7th, it'll be Inge and then Smith and then Infante facing Martinez. And he threads the outside corner 0-1. He is starting to zero in on that outside part of the plate now. In the middle innings, he was missing with his location. Hits it again and a wave and a miss. Inge hit by a pitch, reaching on an air. He's been on base twice tonight. A little bit too far outside. Inge disciplined enough not to go after it. Red Sox starters this year have combined for 58 wins. That is the most in the American League, and only the St. Louis Cardinals over in the National League have more wins from their starters, 62. And then you've got Pedro and Schilling. You know you have a pretty good chance of racking up a few. Breaking ball, line toward right field. On the move is Kepler, still going, and he runs it down. It held up just long enough for him. Well, since June 9th, a look at the Sox starting pitching.
Well, because they have turned it up a notch. All of their starters, there's a lot of people out there believe that if Boston gets into the postseason, they're the team to beat.
Well, they've improved themselves defensively after the trade of Garcia Parra, and that pitching staff really rounding into shape now with 1 month to go, a little over a month. And it gets back to what we've talked about, Rod, in a playoff type series. Pitching really comes to the forefront.
Pitching and defense. You look at Orlando Cabrera. He has stabilized that shortstop position. And Nomar Garcia Parra was not playing well defensively and quite unhappy in Boston. That's why they traded him. Also starting to see the Oakland Athletics go to a more traditional game, moving runners along, anticipating that they might get to the postseason. You can have as many offensive-minded hitters as you want, as we get a look at Theo Epstein, the general manager. And yes, he is the general manager.
Believe it or not.
Not him. The guy sitting behind him trying to see the next pitch.
Excuse me, sir. Could you sit down?
Feels like, sit down,
There we go.
please.
The guy standing up in front of the GM who's trying to watch his team.
He's made some brilliant moves in just his second year as the general manager.
Three and two on Jason Smith. Well, for Martinez now, the pitch count has reached 100, 101 to be exact.
Which means the Tigers have made him work a little harder tonight than he anticipated working. 100 pitches in the 7th inning.
Got him. And another strikeout for Martinez, his 8th.
Amazing that he can change the grip on the ball after starting his motion.
So 11 straight starts now for Martinez of throwing more than 100 pitches.
You know, I would imagine that he changes his grip while he's in the midst of his delivery to prevent hitters from trying to pick up what he may be throwing.
Sliced in the air to right field. On the move is Kepler. And Martinez has a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the stretch at Fenway in Boston. Miller, Kepler, Roberts due up for the Bo Sox. Bill Miller leads it off against Jeremy Bonderman. It'll be Miller, Kepler, and then Roberts. Hats off to both starters tonight. Hats off to Bonderman for battling Pedro Martinez on his home turf here in a 1-run game. Miller has a walk, a single, a steal, and a run scored tonight for the 2003 batting champ. Earlier this year in Detroit, back on August 6th, picked up the 1,000th hit of his career. Miller was talking about and was asked in the offseason when he won the batting championship last year. They asked him if he did a lot of appearances, and he said, nope, nobody really came a calling. It's not like I'm a household name. Miller was somewhat of a surprise winner last year. Just put together a solid season. But not too many endorsements followed. The 3-1 pitch. In the air to center. Monroe diving. He'll play it on one hop. Fortunately, that ball didn't get by him.
You know, even if it does get past him, I think Marcus Thames was coming quick enough that he may have been able to maybe prevent it from going to the wall. It's a great effort by Monroe, though.
Right fielder, number 19,
Pedro putting the jacket on. He may be done. Getting the congratulations from his teammates. Manny Ramirez is not playing tonight.
Well, that's one thing that Terry Francona has done with Pedro the majority of the year. He hadn't thrown much more than 100 pitches in any of his outings, although he did go 117 his last time out.
Looking to butt him over. Gabe Kepler has a walk and a ground out tonight. Red Sox playing for the 1 run here in the 7th. Kepler out of Cal State Fullerton. And he doesn't want to leave anything to chance, so now he's going to check in with Dale Swaim, their third base coach.
Well, Terry Francona doesn't put on a whole lot of signs, so when he does put on a hit and run or a bunt sign, you see the hitters look down there a couple different times and they're like, what's that? I didn't even think we had signs here.
Oh and 1. Let's see if the bunt is still on. It is. And it's bunted to third. Munson has only one play. So Kepler moves up Miller.
There's that bunt I was talking about a few innings ago with Kepler at the plate, but only was one out then. And just the Red Sox playing a different brand of baseball here in the month of August, and they have done that since the trade of Nomar. They're more defensive minded. They're more one-run conscious late in games.
Well, it's a recipe that has worked, and now that's going to be it for Jeremy Bonderman, who does not want to come out of this ball game. But he will. The Tigers go to the pen. Jamie Walker checks in, and a Wallside Windows pitching change. Jamie Walker is in now for the Tigers, making his 58th appearance of the season.
He's been awfully good this year, and he has been awfully tough on left-handed batters.
Popped him up. Pena at first. That'll work. 2 gone. Walker came in last night and did the job. In the 6th inning, he struck out Roberts. He got the fly ball from Ortiz. And then eventually the ground ball from Varitek. At that point, it was a 5-1 ball game, but Walker kept it 5-1, and the Tigers made it interesting with a couple of runs late.
He needs to make sure he's awfully careful here with 2 outs and the base open against the right-handed Bellhorn. You have the left-handed Johnny Damon in the on-deck circle. We just told you how tough Walker's been on left-handers. You don't want Bellhorn to drive this 3rd run of the game in for the Boston Red Sox. Be smart about it.
Well, if you're Alan Trammell and you look at the numbers and how deadly Walker has been against lefties, you almost consider putting this guy on base.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's run through his mind.
One ball, 1 strike on Bellhorn, who has an RBI tonight. Line down the left field side, fair ball. It'll go to the corner, and this will get a run in. On his way to second with a sliding double is Bellhorn, and it's a 3-1 Boston lead.
Fastball right down the middle. Bellhorn rips it to left.
A 2-out RBI hit for Bellhorn, his 2nd RBI of the night. And here is Damon. Damon is 0 for 3 tonight, but a chance to pad the lead. So they elected to pitch to the right-handed hitter Bellhorn, and he makes him pay with an RBI double. And Jeremy Bonderman will have that run charged to his line.
I really don't know how that happens, partner. Base open, 7th inning. Jamie Walker has been the best left-hander in the American League against left-handed batters this year. I don't know how the right-hander beats you there.
Swing and a miss. Well, certainly numbers-wise, you talk about it, Rod. 149 against left-handed batters, which is the best in all of baseball.
He has to know the situation there. Brandon has to know the situation there.
Hammered in the air, right field. Higginson on the run, still going, not going to get it. 1 hop into the seats, and another run will score. Johnny Damon has doubled in a run. It's 4-1 Boston. 65 RBIs for Damon now.
This Boston team is just so tough to beat here in their own ballpark. They're 20 games over 500. They just keep coming after you. .485 extra base hits. 12 doubles in this series alone.
2 in this inning. And 4 in the game for the Red Sox. Here is Ortiz. That's rifled back up the middle into center. Damon rounding third. They're going to send him home. He'll score. An RBI single for David Ortiz. 3 consecutive RBI hits. Walker got the pop-up of Roberts, was looking to be in good shape, but then double single, and 3 runs later, it's 5-1. Here's Varitek. And the Red Sox now have put up 7 hits on the board, a 3-run 7th inning. The Tigers bullpen continues to work. Esteban Yan. Varitek has been on base twice, double and a walk. Just aren't too many better hitting catchers in the game than Jason Varitek. Over 300 for the year. Walker was lights out in a perfect inning last night, but tonight the Red Sox have gotten to him. Two and one on Varitek. And the crowd now has finally gotten into it. Into the air, hit hard down the left field line. It's off the monster. Ortiz will pull into second and hold there. Varitek has a long single in 4 straight hits now for the Red Sox. And that's going to be it for Jamie Walker. He wants Yan, so Walker will give up the baseball. The Tigers go right back to the bullpen. Here comes Esteban. Another pitching change will step aside from Boston, where the Red Sox have padded their lead. Well, Esteban Yan is trying to put out the fire here and stop the bleeding in the 7th inning. The Red Sox have posted 3 more.
It took Bonderman out of the game, and the Boston Red Sox, the bats came to life. 4 straight bullets off of Jamie Walker.
Yan making his 57th appearance. Kevin Millar will stand in. He is the 8th man to bat in this inning. Yan starts him off with a strike.
Baseball is a fascinating game. Walker comes in absolutely dominating left-handed batters. Best in the majors. Gives up a couple of knocks in this inning to lefties.
Damon doubled in a run, and Ortiz, who had been 0 for his last 7 in this series, singled one in. Millar is 0 for 3. Glad to see Bonderman out of the game. He struck out twice against him. And he is behind in the count, 0-2. Boy, he's got some good numbers against Yan.
I'd say so. 0-2 and scuffling now, though.
Good pickup by Inge. There goes the wave. They've had it going in every game in this series. A lot more effective when you have a sellout crowd. Even the monster seats participate. Bouncing ball foul outside of third. Millar went to Lamar University, undrafted out of Lamar. Varitek and Ortiz the runners. Swung on and missed to retire the side, but a big inning for the Red Sox. They send up 8 men, score 3 times, and it's a 5-1 ball game. On our way to the 8th inning in Boston. Now 5-1 is our score, and a big 3-run 7th inning is our game summary for the Red Sox as they break this one open a little bit. An RBI double with 2 outs by Mark Bellhorn chased home a run to make it 3-1. And then Walker gave up the hit to the lefty Johnny Damon, who doubles in another to make it a 4-1 ball game. And then another left-handed hitter, David Ortiz, right back through the box. 5-1 in favor of the Red Sox. And here's our Comerica game summary. Got to tip your cap tonight to Jeremy Bonderman. He pitched well. He'll be charged with 3 earned runs. Pedro 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. The Red Sox have been double happy in this series. Monroe has an RBI, and the Tigers and the Red Sox have left a few on base tonight. Got a defensive replacement. Doug Mankiewicz will enter the ball game now and play first. Mankiewicz has been hurt. That's why he's been out of the lineup the last couple of nights, but he's well enough to come in defensively. Alan Embry is also in.
And comes in with a 2-2 record, 57th time he has appeared this year.
Bobby Higginson leads it off against him. So we'll see how the Red Sox bullpen fares now.
Bobby Higginson has not fared very well against Emory in his career. 0 for 7 to be exact.
He's ahead in the count here. It'll be Higginson, Pena, and Young in the 8th inning. Three and 0. Iggy got a walk back in the 5th inning, the only time he has been aboard tonight. Down the middle it comes. Embry has been around a little bit. He's pitched for the Indians and the Braves and the Diamondbacks. He's also pitched for the Giants and White Sox. Strike called, and the count fills now 3-2.
Still trying to figure out how in the world Embry has pitched for so many clubs, and he's such a valuable commodity out of the bullpen. Left-hander that throws 93, 94.
To the second baseman. Bellhorn throws him out. It's a good question. They have Ramiro Mendoza now in their bullpen as well.
He's been awfully good this year. Mendoza, former Yankee.
Seemed like everybody wanted him when he was with the Yankees.
You're right.
He was in their rotation, working out of their pen as well.
Every time the Yankees would talk about a trade with someone, the other team would always ask for Mendoza.
Here's Pena. Tigers need a base hit to get it going here. They are down now by 4 runs. This was a tight ball game all night long.
If you're just joining us and you're wondering where Pudge and Carlos Guillen, Rondell White are, Guillen and White are hurt. Pudge has flu-like symptoms. Talked to Rondell before the game today, and the little hip flexor problem that he has, he said he had it last year in Kansas City, tried to come back too soon, and it bothered him all year long. He said he may need 3 or 4 days, then he'll be good to go for the remainder of the year.
I think that's the problem Pudge has had this year. He's tried to play through that injury, and it never really has healed. The 1-1.
What's up with the hip flexor thing anyway?
I don't know.
It's Jason Johnson's going through it right now. Rondell White's going through it. And of course, Pudge has gone through it all season long.
It is the injury du jour.
And you would have to believe that Pudge being the competitor and Guillen and White being the competitors that they are, they would just love to be out on this field in this type of environment.
Here's the 1-2. High fly ball. Hit fairly deep but playable. Kepler going back. Still going back. That carried to the wall.
Wow.
It just kept going. Carlos almost hit it out.
Designated hitter, number 25.
It's been a different kind of a series here, to be honest with you, Mario. I mean, other than that last inning where they hit 4 balls very hard, they really hadn't done that against Detroit pitching in this series. They've been bunting. They've had some hit and runs. They've had some walks. Tigers made 6 errors in the first 2 games. This hadn't been your typical Red Sox whooping against Detroit that they sometimes put on them.
Well, they've had to scratch for runs. And tonight, they got their first 2 runs courtesy of a couple of walks with 1 out.
Stolen base by a guy that really doesn't steal bases.
Dimitri 1 for 3, had a base hit back in the 4th inning. Little bit outside. 1-1. Young now a 6-game hitting streak. His 1-out single started the scoring threat for the Tigers in the 4th. He was doubled home by Monroe. And to this point, the only run the Tigers have picked up. 2-1. Embry retired the lone batter that he faced in yesterday's ball game in the 9th inning. Came on for 1 hitter and got him. He's been a workhorse. In fact, he's topped 60 appearances in each of the last 5 seasons. He has fallen behind Young, 3-1. Boy, Dimitri swinging out of his shoes, and he lands on the seat of his pants. Oh, he's going to hear about that. And the crowd giving it to him right now.
You don't think he wasn't trying to hit one where the grass doesn't grow?
Not a whole lot you can do there but smile.
You know, and he was looking directly at Alan Emery as he was smiling, almost to say, my bad. I mean, as a hitter, I mean, the last thing that you want to do is show up that guy that's on the mound by taking a huge, huge swing and somehow losing your balance and falling down.
3-2. Again to the second baseman, Bellhorn, and that will retire the side. Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Bill Miller due up second in a 5-1 ball game. Red Sox batting in the bottom of the 8th at Fenway Park in Boston. And the Sox trying to take the first 3 games in the series. The Tigers have a new pitcher. It is Sal Levine.
Well, Al has been much better as of late for the Tigers. 53rd game he's been in. Tigers bullpen has been used an awful lot this year. Levine, Yan, Walker.
And Levine facing Cabrera to lead it off. Cabrera, Miller, and Kapler due up. Two and 0.
Cabrera is from Panama. I didn't know that until he told me the other day.
Trying to think of any others that are from Panama in the big leagues. There have been a few.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
We're going to have to.
Then again, that ain't saying a whole lot.
It's flared in the air to right center. We get the crack staff on that. Hey, it's going to drop in. What happened there? Higginson and Monroe converging on it, and then both backed off.
It appeared that Bobby was calling it all the way. You could see his hand motioned out. And at the last moment, Monroe calls him off. They're both calling for the ball right now, but when there's 40,000 people in the stands, you can't hear one another. Higginson was calling it, Monroe was also calling it, but neither took their eye off the ball to look at each other to see who was going to make the play.
They've given Higginson an error, and there's a base hit by Miller. Cabrera's going to come home. Here comes the throw to the plate. He is out at home plate. So Monroe made up for that with a solid throw.
Their third base coach, Dale Swain, cannot win for losing. Cabrera has pretty good speed, but Monroe shows some surprising arm strength here. Great tag by Brandon Inge, and if you're Dale Swain, the third base coach, boy, you wonder how many guys you're going to get thrown out at home plate this year. He's had a rough year.
He took a perfect throw, and Monroe's throw is right on target. By the way, on that play, they gave Higginson an error.
Yeah, that
dropped in.
That's strange.
I'm not sure I understand that ruling there.
Well, a lot of official scorekeepers will give the error to the center fielder because they realize that the center fielder is the captain in the outfield.
Not to mention he called for the ball, and Higginson peeled off at the last second.
And it's also very seldom that you'll see an error called when no one touches the ball.
Exactly. I mean, first of all, I didn't expect an error. I thought that ball would have been ruled a double.
Nonetheless, a great throw by Craig Monroe.
Kapler. Still a 5-1 ball game. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kapler's had a good game. Walked and scored in the 5th. Sacrificed in the 7th.
And Bill Miller, who just got that base hit up the middle, has had an exceptional day.
Ground ball to short. Smith ranging right to second one. Relay. Great turn. They don't get the double play, though. Infante got rid of that ball in a hurry, and he pulled Pena off the bag.
You know, one of the things that we talked about this year was how quick Fernando Vina was at getting the ball out of the glove and turning it over to first base. Infante is just as quick. And why was Kapler safe?
Look at it again. I thought he was out.
He is out.
Boy, it was close.
I mean, Pena's foot was still in the bag.
Strike called on Dave Roberts. There was very little argument from Pena. Hit hard, but foul. Over the dugout. That scattered a beverage or two.
What's amazing to me is the fact that Bonderman, for the most part, while he was in the game, the Boston Red Sox did not get a lot of good swings off of him. All of a sudden, Bonderman leaves the game, and it's like if this Boston offense just woke up.
And Jeremy threw 97 pitches at the time that he was taken out of the game. But even late in the game, as he approached 100, they still weren't getting too many good swings, and now the Sox dugout can act a little playful here.
One thing the Red Sox do have is a lot of fun playing the game. Why wouldn't you?
They are playing to this crowd tonight, that's for sure. Just for a little added protection. Swing and a miss. Didn't need it. A strikeout of Roberts will go to the ninth. Monroe, Munson, and Thames on the way. Big crowd on hand here tonight at Fenway Park, and they're watching the Red Sox lead the Tigers as we go to the ninth inning. Ramiro Mendoza is in now.
It's only the 16th time that Mendoza has been on this year. He was on the disabled list, but since coming off the disabled list, he's been awfully good. 1.96 earned run average for the talented right-hander.
Well, the Tigers running out of outs now. Craig Monroe will stand in and try and get it going in the ninth. Drops in a hook. 0-1.
The Boston Red Sox pitchers saw how far he hit that Derek Lowe fastball last night. Therefore, he hadn't gotten a whole lot of fastballs tonight.
Hey, remember we were trying to figure out if there were other players from Panama? Ramiro Mendoza's from Panama.
Oh, good looking out.
He is a 32-year-old native of Panama. So we didn't have to look far.
Ask and you shall receive.
His first 11 pro seasons in the Yankees organization. Mendoza has missed over 130 games the last 2 years on the disabled list with knee problems. The 1-2. Did it hit him? Yes, it did. Monroe is hit by the pitch, and he's aboard. And that's a start for the Tigers. Here's Eric Munson.
You know, you were talking about Mendoza and all the games that he has missed the last 2 years since signing as a free agent with the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox got tired of watching him pitch for the Yankees and pitch so successfully. So they signed him, and he hadn't been healthy since.
Well, Mendoza is having a little bit of trouble here in the ninth inning. Doing all he can to get the Tigers back in this game. He's fallen behind Munson. Two and one. Hit hard but foul down the first base line. 2-2 on Munson, who has a single, and he's been hit by a pitch tonight. Tigers in this one have been limited to just 4 hits. Martinez went the first 7. Embry pitched a perfect 8th. Full count. Marcus Thames waiting on deck. On the ground to the second baseman. Bellhorn, the relay, not in time. Munson beat it out. One out. Really wasn't hit all that sharply, and that cost them the double play.
Left fielder, number 43, Marcus Thames.
Terry Francona had a look on his face like he wasn't so sure that he was safe. Here's Marcus Thames. One ball and one strike on Thames. Munson at first base. On the ground to the shortstop. Cabrera to second one. The relay. Not in time. Bellhorn couldn't get it out of the glove, and it cost him the double play. So the Tigers are still alive.
This is a tremendous feed by Cabrera. I don't know why Bellhorn not able to turn it, but he wasn't at the bag. Then had to redirect his body back toward first base, and the hustling Thames able to get there safely. I thought when that ball was hit, that was a tailor-made double play because it was hit so sharply.
Sure looked like it. Here is Inge. Brandon is 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. Also reached on an air, and look who's in the on-deck circle, Carlos Guillen. Two 2-0 on Inge. Tigers need a couple of more base runners. Bring that tying run to the plate. Mendoza again falling behind, but he comes in with a 2-0 strike. Another strike, 2-2. And they're on their feet at Fenway. Another jam-packed house. On the ground to third. Miller goes to second in time for the force. And the Red Sox win it here tonight. Their third straight in this series. Pedro Martinez pitched another good ball game. So did Jeremy Bonderman, but a little bit more offense for the Red Sox tonight. And our player of the game, the Chevy player of the game, Bill Miller, with 3 hits in the ball game tonight, a single in the third. In the 7th inning, a base hit and a run scored. And in the 8th inning, his 3rd hit of the game, he also walked, scored twice, and stole a base. Our Chevy player of the game, Bill Miller of the Boston Red Sox. 5-1 the final score here tonight. The Red Sox have won the first 3, and the Tigers tomorrow will try and avoid the sweep here at Fenway Park. Final score